Kiwitech has a very unique model, and what we do is we work with startups and we take part of our fee for technology development in the form of equity. And it's a 50-50 split. So rather than the startup paying us 100% for the development we do for them, they pay us 50%, we take the other 50% in equity, and that creates a great deal of strategic alignment. So now we are interested in their development and their equity growing in value, and we want to help them in different ways to help them make that happen. I would say it's very unusual because the way we came up with it was we kind of stumbled on it. You know, we were working with a startup. They weren't able to completely pay all their bills for the development, and we decided to take part of it in equity as a convertible note. And that led to this model because we thought, well, let's go find startups that are doing well and let's have them pay for part of it in cash and the other part in equity. It saves them some effort on raising money, and it also gives us a stake in the startup that can grow. What we're doing is we are providing technology development to the startups. So usually these are software startups. They have a software platform they're developing, and we will do the web programming, the mobile programming to help develop that concept or develop that software product. And then as they're adding features like version 1, version 2, version 3, we will continue to help, you know, in adding those features. So we may have a dedicated team. We may have a set team of 5 people, 10 people, 15 people who are working with that startup. Or they may say, okay, we need to develop an MVP, you know, their initial product, minimal viable product, and they want to take that to market, and we do that as a project. They come to us and say, okay, here are this limited set of features that we want to develop up front, and then we develop that, and then they take it to market. If they get traction and they want to do a new version, then we help them with that. Our model is all about creating value in the startups and our equity having value. You know, in startups, of course, there's risk. You know, I mean, any startup entrepreneur embarking on a startup knows there's a great deal of risk. They have to figure out what product the market wants and how they monetize it, because the market may want it, but then like, how do they get someone to pay for that? And these are different stages as a startup grows, and we try to help them through those stages. You know, like, let's have a set of features where we can test market receptivity to the product. We need to figure out how to monetize. So we work with them as they're doing that. And our success is dependent upon them doing well with it. You know, so if there's 30-40% of our startups that do very well, we're going to do very well. We don't expect 100% of them to do well. You know, nobody does. The startup entrepreneur doesn't, the investors don't. But when a startup does well, you can get a very big return on it. This is initially, you know, the receptivity to, you know, us doing development and taking equity in exchange. It took a while to get that, you know, the market acceptance of that. And but one thing that has happened is entrepreneurs have seen that it creates a great deal of alignment. Rather than them just giving a software project to a software services company and saying, give me a product and take it to market, the software company is focused on how do I make the most amount of profit on it. The software startup is focused on how do I build the best possible product. This creates alignment because we want to build the best possible product so that the software company prospers and we make more money off their equity. So you know, it's about strategic alignment is the key to this formula. Well, we've invested in over 250 startups in the last 6.5 years. And over the next 5 years, we expect to be invested in a total of 1,000 startups. And we have some, you know, what we would call marquee startups. Some examples are LVH, Arbus, Urban FT. These are companies that are progressing very well. There's a company, Hungry, that is raising a significantly larger round. So these are companies where we've invested, they're raising money at a significantly higher valuation, or maybe even working towards an exit. So we have a number of startups in that category as well. So in 2020, we're looking forward to seeing, you know, more of this progress, you know, more of the portfolio where companies have raised larger rounds or have exited. We have an operating business, which is, you know, technology development business, but our model is really about those startups progressing, having exits, doing well, you know, prospering, because that's the value we're creating, is the equity value in those startups. think tech, of course, India has been a supplier of technology services to the rest of the world. I think there's an opportunity for greater innovation in India. You see that in the US, you see it to some extent in Europe. I think India being a knowledge services economy, becoming, there being a significant component of that, there's an opportunity for core innovation to happen in India as well. Definitely there's an opportunity to adapt ideas from from the US economy or US startups in India. So that's definitely there, but then I think there's also an opportunity to come up with new concepts in India. Well, there's some interesting, new technologies. Of course, blockchain can be used in a variety of ways for, financial technology. You also have, artificial intelligence and machine learning. Machine learning, of course, is getting a lot of traction because machine learning has it's kind of proven business value. AI or artificial intelligence still is to be proven. It's a little bit on the cutting edge. But machine learning is a little bit more proven, and we're seeing business value out of it. Blockchain, of course, there's significant business value because it helps you in getting transactions done and doing them in more of a digital fashion.